Theatrephonic presents Mari. Written by Jackie Carreira.
What are you saying?
Me, what are you saying?
Are you going now? What now? No way. No, get
Yeah,
out.
right.
Stop
Oi,
it.
oi, oi.
Stop it. Did you bring it?
Your mate.
We can't hear ourselves talk.
All right, that's enough. If you can't behave, I'll have to ask you to leave. You're disturbing people who are here to read. Do you even know how to read? It said silence up there.
Whatever, mister. You got any dirty mags?
Right, that's it. I'm calling security.
Ha! You'd be better off calling Batman, mate. Come on, let's go. Na 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 na.
Batman.
Unbelievable. Disrespectful bunch of louts.
It's just high spirits, Derek. There's nothing for them to do during the holidays.
Nothing to do? There's a whole children's floor upstairs, not to mention the computer facilities. Ungrateful, illiterate.
They're just little boys, really.
Little boys? They're young men. I was working at their age, full time, and my father was fighting in the war. Oh, and can you check the soap dispensers in the ladies? Mrs. Copperthwaite's been complaining again.
Well, she's not the only one. I did mention it last week, and I think you said you...
Yes. But if you can just sort that out. I'll be at the front desk if you need me, Mary.
Derek, I keep telling you, it's not Mary. It's...
Oh, so sorry to keep you, madam. Can I be of service?
He can't hear me. I try to tell him. It's Mari. It's not Mary or Marie. It's Mari. I could even spell it for him. M-A-R-I. 4 letters. Thanks to Mum, that is. Dad wanted to call me Clementine after Mrs. Churchill. Can you imagine? Mum said it made me sound like a cowboy's floozy, so she put her foot down. Must have been the only time, because I'm sure I never saw her do it. No, it was always Dad. We lived in his world, not the other way round. Of course, it was different in them days. I was born after the war, and I wasn't the only one neither. It must have been quite a celebration after all them soldiers came home, because there were so many kids at my school. Baby boomers, they called us. It was easy to get lost among the clever ones, the pretty ones, the ones that made you laugh. You had to find your place. If you couldn't stand out, it was best to stand back, become sort of invisible, you know. Meant you got an easy life. That's all I wanted then, an easy life and a push-up bra. Now, I wonder what that boy threw on the floor. Here we go. I recognise that cover. This is called Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. The first time I saw this was at school. It was always the clever ones that were picked to read out loud. I just sat quietly at the back, drawing pictures in my exercise book. But I listened. I heard every word. I got lost in it, and it was brilliant. Of course, you never knew me as a child, did you? See that young woman over there? She comes in every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, regular as clockwork. She's a student at the university. Only reads big, thick books, lots of them. And it's funny, because she always lays out a load of coloured pencils on the table before she starts. I don't know why. There's no pictures in them books. Still, must be lovely to be a student. Derek, I've finished the cleaning. I'm just going to sit for a while, if that's okay.
All right. There's no need to shout. There's been enough noise in here for one day.
Sorry. I'll be quiet. Oh, that's better. My feet were killing me. There's 3 floors to clean, you know. There used to be 2 of us, but it's all down to me now. It's the cutbacks from the council. They wanted to close us down, but Derek started a petition and he got thousands of names on it. Not just old people neither. Young ones like that student signed it too. Anyway, at least I've got a job. And at least we've still got the books. I stay behind after work every Wednesday just to be with the books a bit longer. Ron thinks I'm at the bingo. He'd rather I went there and wasted money on a promise just in case I come home with a big win. Even if I went, I'd never tell him I won. He'd only be straight down the boozer. What's yours is mine, and what's mine's me own, he says. Just like Dad. They say you marry your father. I didn't notice till it was too late. 45 years. I do buy books, though. Well, I've got to account for the bingo money I never spend, haven't I? He just thinks I'm unlucky. But I've saved enough for my own little private library. I've got 16 books now. I keep them in the utility room in a box behind the parcel, so I can look at them whenever I want. He'll never look there, because he never does any cleaning, lazy sod. I know where everything is, because I clean everywhere. He keeps his dirty mags in the garage behind the foot pump. I know that. I can draw too. Ron doesn't mind that too much. Keeps me quiet, he says. Ever since school, I could draw. I could show her how to use those pencils. I don't know if it's clever, but it's nice. Have you ever noticed the shapes that the black makes on the white? Some writers make beautiful shapes with their words. William Blake's like that. He was a famous poet and an artist at the same time. Maybe that's why his poems look like pictures. Sometimes I wonder if people ever notice the shapes on the page, or if they're too busy gobbling up words and spitting them out like grape seeds. Mind you, they're mostly seedless now, aren't they? They have talking books here too. Derek normally lets me sign one out when I finish. Our Edward got me a collection of classic books on CD last Christmas, and it was the best present I've ever had. I can do a whole book while Ron's at work. When he's home, it's the telly or nothing. He sits with the remote in his hand the whole time, like I'm going to try and seize control or something. I'm going to take the batteries out one day, just to see how he'd cope. You wouldn't know it to look at him, but Ron was a dancer, you know. I don't mean like Nureyev, not even Craig Revel Horwood, but he was a real head-turner on the dance floor. Can't remember the last time I bought a new dress. Nice one, I mean. Edward's wedding, I think. I didn't dance that day, though. I don't understand the music anymore. Everyone says the music when they were young was the best, but ours really was. Ron used to take me to the embassy of a Friday night. Bit of a ladies' man he was. For some reason, he chose me. I was more surprised than anyone, but from then on, I always tried to make him proud. Must have done it first, because he asked me to marry him after 3 months of courting. And it's not like he had to. We danced lovely together back then. You wouldn't think it to look at him now, but Ron always wanted to be a speedway rider. I especially like doing the ironing to Oscar Wilde. I don't know why. Maybe it's the flamboyance, but it always gets the creases out lovely. See this? The picture of Dorian Gray. Ron's shirts never looked lovelier. Yes, I love the talking books. It's like all those people are speaking just to me from another world. I can get lost in the dusting with Dickens and the washing with Orwell. Don't tell anyone, but sometimes I talk to the talking books. I do. I laugh when they do something daft. I warn them when something bad's going to happen. They listen to what I think more than Ron ever does. Mind you, I don't think he's read a book since school. I've never seen him read anything, except the Mirror, the Racing Post. What a waste. That's why I don't tell him about the books. He'll never understand. I could talk for hours to any of this lot in here about all these books and what they say and what they mean. But I don't. See this one? This is Songs of Innocence and Experience. It's poems with pictures full of beautiful shapes. Look.
Excuse me?
He's off again.
I'm sorry, no dogs allowed in the library. I hate to contradict you, madam, but I've yet to encounter a seeing-eyed chihuahua.
Bless him. He can't help himself. You don't even have to be silent in the library anymore, but he won't take that old sign down. Sometimes I think the power goes to his head in being chief librarian. Chief! He's only got one under him and she's part-time. He's got a degree, you know. Had it for years. I don't know what it's in because he never talks about that. He only tells you where he got it. Cambridge, of course. But I don't want to talk bad of Derek. He's been very good to me. Nothing untoward, I'm sure. I think he just craves a bit of female company. Wife left him last year. He's worked behind the counter since before I came. Knows these books better than I do. He runs a reading group on a Thursday night at the King's Arms, and he's asked me if I want to go along more than once. Of course, I couldn't, could I? Still, nice to be asked. Our grandson, Jack, my daughter Carol's boy, he's reading law at university. Can't tell you how proud I am, because he's the first one of our lot who's ever been to university. I never even finished school. I do think I married a bit young, though. I went from daughter to mother with no in-between. I missed the swinging 60s altogether. I was making babies, not war. Not love either, really. This blue one is called A Room of One's Own. They used to have it in black as well. The woman who wrote it killed herself, you know. Virginia Woolf. One day, she filled her pockets full of stones and walked into a river. Just like that. I can't think of a worse way to go than drowning. Must be like having all the weight of the world on top of you. If only she could have taken the stones out of her pockets. They must have been too heavy for her. Poor thing. Better keep an eye on the time. I mustn't push me luck. Ron would go spare if he found out I was at the library instead of the bingo. What's wrong with you, he'd say. You've got a nice house, 2 decent kids, food on the table. What more do you want? I want a room of my own, Ron. Just like Virginia Woolf. What shall it be today? 2 numbers short of a full house? 18 and 21. Key of the door. I'd change the locks if I bloody won. Oh, I think Derek's coming back. I'm going to nip off before he catches me. Bye, Derek. See you tomorrow.
Mary? Mary! Oh, she knew I wanted to catch her. Mary, are you free on Thursday? Oh, damn it, she's gone. Ah, there you are. Are you busy at the moment?
Just keeping an eye on this bag for a customer.
You don't have to do that, you know.
I know, but...
The sign states quite clearly that library users leave articles unattended at their own risk.
She won't be a minute.
Well, I need you as soon as you're free. I'm afraid Mrs. Copperthwaite's had a little accident behind the graphic novels.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, it's a real care in the community day today. You might need to break out the antibacterial.
I'll do that first, and then I'll do history. It could do with a good clean.
It's not the only one. Some of the people in here today.
No harm done. I'll just go to the staff room and fetch the disinfectant, Derek. Behind the graphic novels, you say?
Yes, Mrs. Copperthwaite was perusing Judge Dredd again.
Oh, dear. I tell you, I really don't know how I kept a straight face just then. But I've just got to say it. It was the key of the door, weren't it? Number 21, key of the bloody door. They say the truth is stranger than fiction. You might not have noticed, but I didn't stay after work last week. Ron started getting suspicious, you see. All this time at the bingo and never so much as a line. He must have been playing on his mind, because he starts asking me what I've been up to all these Wednesdays. It's not that he's jealous. Oh, no, it wouldn't even cross his mind that I'm being unfaithful. I could be visiting a string of lovers all over town, and he'd just think I'd taken on some extra cleaning. But I got a bit worried when he starts asking me all these questions. Who'd you go with today? What was the jackpot? How come you never bloody win? So I went, didn't I? I had to. I've never been a good liar, and I couldn't keep up with all them questions. He's like a bull mastiff when he gets hold of me sometimes. So I went, and I only bloody won. Better keep my voice down in case Derek hears me. Still hasn't sunk in. It was one of those national games where all these bingo halls link up all around the country and you hear all the numbers at the same time. Very technological. The woman next to me kept looking over my shoulder. She should have been watching her own cards because she was close. Anyway, I was waiting for one number for 6 goes. I kept saying to myself, come on, 21, key of the door, key of the door. Of course, they don't say all that stuff these days. Something about 2 fat ladies not being politically correct or something. Anyway, nowadays they say 2 and 1, 21. And that's exactly what the caller said. I couldn't believe my ears, but I shouted so fast and so loud that I didn't recognise my own voice. Well, my heart was in my mouth while they checked the card, but it was spot on. £20,000. I better get out there again. Blimey. That's 2 Hulks and a He-Man we've lost to Mrs. Copperthwaite's bladder. That should do it. I've been trying to imagine what £20,000 would look like if you spread it all out on the table. Of course, they don't give it to you in cash. I got a cheque. I put it in the post office. R. Edward helped me open an account in my name. I've never had one before. Ron has everything in a joint account. He just gets me to sign my name. He says that's all I'm good for. Edward won't tell his dad, though. He's always been a mummy's boy. I'd like to tell Derek about the money and the books and everything. I think he might listen, but no. I've run out of space behind the parcel. I've started putting my new books in the spare room at the bottom of the wardrobe. There's only some of the kids' old clothes in there. I go into the little bookshop on the high street nearly every day and ask the young man behind the counter for what I want, and he always fetches them for me, bless him. The Handmaid's Tale, Little Women, The Grapes of Wrath. Then I stick them in the bottom of my bag and cover them with the shopping. Ron's always at work when I get in, but just in case. I know what Ron would do if he found out. That money would be out of the post office and down the pub before I could draw breath. And anything left over would be straight into the bookie's hands. Maybe he'd just scarper with it once and for all. Find some other mug to do his washing and ironing. Then I would change the bloody locks. All that time I'd have with no one expecting anything of me. I could spend all my time with Keats and Shelley instead of the cooking and cleaning. I could even, one day, there's something about the smell of a book. New ones smell different to old ones, but they all smell like landscapes.
Something wrong with that book?
No, it's lovely.
It's just that I saw you sniffing it.
Sniffing it? No, I was just cleaning.
Good. I thought perhaps Mrs. Copperthwaite had been sitting on the stock again.
She's too short for the chairs, bless her.
That reminds me, have the antiseptic wipes arrived yet, Mary?
No, not yet. And it's not Mary, it's...
You will let me know when they get here, won't you? They should have been here yesterday.
They're always late. I'll go and check on them now.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Mind you, it won't last long. The after-school mums will be in with their precious progeny, looking for horrid Henry and gangster Granny with sticky fingers. Oh, whatever happened to their heroic tales, their classic adventures? Nobody wants Treasure Island and Biggles anymore. Too old-fashioned, I suppose. Mind you, at least the ones in here are reading. See the others at the bus shelter, thumbing their mobile phones like stick insects, if they're not causing trouble. Why their parents let them get away with it, I'll never know. I was taught to respect my elders. Do as you're told, and mind your manners. But where did it get me? Toe the line, pay your taxes, be a good and useful member of society. I make no apology for that. It's the right thing to do, I'm sure of it. But you see, I thought that when I became an elder, or at least an older, that I will be respected by the young in my turn. But they look at me and see a frustrated old man wielding the rule book and spoiling their fun. But rules are all I have. Where would we be if we could all do whatever we liked whenever we liked, eh? We need those rules. They're our sanctuary from the chaos. You see, I watch the old folk coming in here every day, the Mrs. Copperthwaites of this world. They come in because it's warm and safe. That's why I don't chase them out, even when they soil the carpets. Those young louts are strong and robust. They know how to survive out there in the chaos because they were born into it. But the old ones can't manage. They don't recognize this world. Nor do I half the time. But at least in here they're safe. It's familiar for them. They come in and see me in my shirt and tie. I call them sir and madam and help them out of the lift. And whatever happens, there will always be Treasure Island and Biggles, just like the old days. That's something useful, isn't it? That would be a good choice for the next book group. A bit of Robert Louis Stevenson. So far it's been a democracy, but I think it's time for me to take charge. I couldn't sleep for 3 days after the 50 Shades of Grey debate. I'll introduce them to the classics. That's what I'll do. We all need a little Treasure Island. Oh, hell, here they come. Time for the after-school rush. Excuse me? No food and drink in the library. There's a cafe downstairs. Excuse me?
Bum, bum.
Would you like to get to know more about the people behind Theatrephonic, the writers, the actors and directors? Well, now you can. Our Patreon members have the opportunity to ask questions which our creatives will then answer, if I can get hold of them. Find out everything you want to know about the people behind the characters. Visit patreon.com/Theatrephonic for more information. That's patreon.com/Theatrephonic. On with the play.
Bum, bum.
Seriously? No way.
What are you
Wrong.
saying?
Get off.
Hey!
What the hell's going on out there?
Really? Cool. Thanks, lady. We'll split it, yeah?
We'll be good, and if we can't be good, we'll be quick.
Right, that's it.
Oh, look, it's Batman.
If you don't stop bothering people, well, I'll get you
You're
and...
what? Break out the bat signal. Come on, bruv.
Batman!
I'm warning you.
Don't bother. We're gone. Thanks, lady.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
Get off.
What was going on out there?
Oh, nothing.
They weren't giving you any trouble, were they? Because if they were being disrespectful to my staff...
They weren't. I just gave them a couple of quid each to go and spend on something nice, that's all.
Nice? They don't know the meaning of the word. They'll probably spend it on drugs, or worse.
No, they won't. They're just little boys. They'll be buying sweets or comics or something.
My dear, I do admire your blind faith in humanity, but we must move into the 21st century, you know. Everything's changed.
It certainly has.
There's no respect anymore, no manners. And if they don't learn from our example, from their betters and elders, then how will they ever learn?
That's just what I think. That's why I gave them
Drug money?
kindness. We all need some of that.
Kindness?
You know what I'm talking about, Eric. I've seen you.
Yes. Which reminds me, I need to see you.
You're seeing me right now, aren't you?
I mean in private. I really would like to talk to you before you leave today.
Oh, look. Isn't that Mrs. Copperthwaite at the desk? I think she's looking for you.
At last. Be right with you. I would like to catch you before you go, all right? Good morning, Mrs. Copperthwaite. Everything okay there? Oh dear, and we've only just had that chair recovered.
It says silence up there. You don't even have to be silent in the library anymore. It's about time that came down. I can't tell Derek. What can he do? I can't tell anybody. What can anybody do? You see, Ron was home from work early when I got back from the library last week. He's never home early. He was just sat there at the kitchen table, reading the Mirror, like he was always home early. How'd you get on at bingo? He says. Any luck this time? But he knew. And I knew straight away that he knew. You don't live with someone for 45 years without knowing. I thought I was so clever. I tried to carry on without looking at him, taking my coat off and putting the shopping away like it was normal. But I had great expectations at the bottom of my shopping bag and I could feel my cheeks getting hot. He just went on and on. So they sell vegetables at that bingo hall now. Sprouts and cabbages, eh? Sprouts and cabbages. And books. I didn't have any words. We have so few between us. When he got up from the table, he looked taller somehow. Like he'd stood up with all this stuff that he'd kept down for years. He stood up and it all stood up with him. He kept saying, who do you think you are, eh? Who do you think you are? And I realised then he had no bloody idea. Maybe that's why he kept asking. He still had the paper in his hands and he said, come on then, smart ass. You want to read so bad, do you? Here we go then, read this. And he rubbed that paper all over my face, rubbed it so hard that he had to hold the back of my head with his other hand to stop me going through the kitchen wall. He kept shouting, come on then, read this, read this. But I can't read it. I can't read one word of it. Except for M-A-R-I. One of Ron's mates down the pub, his wife goes to bingo. I don't know her that well, only to say hello. But women talk, don't they? Men shout. Why is that? Ron was looking for the money when he found the books. He would have never thought to go looking for books. He found them all, even the ones behind the parcel. He took them behind the garage, where he burns the leaves from the garden, and then he made me watch till they were wet with petrol. And then they weren't wet anymore. They were burning. I watched, but I still had no words. Ron couldn't stop ranting. I don't think he said that much to me in one go since we got married. In the time it took to burn the books, he spat out everything that was wrong with me and then everything that was wrong with his life. Not him, just his life. Everything he should have done and everything he didn't do came bursting out of him all over the fire. He kept shouting and cursing till he was burnt out too. Then he didn't look so tall anymore. When he finished, he went down the pub. I don't know how long I stood and looked at the ashes I kept thinking, why do people take it out on the books? The Nazis burned books, didn't they? So did the communists. Why do they hate them so much? I bet they never even bloody read them. When I went up to the bathroom to wash the black ink off my face, I found a black eye underneath. I think it's gone now, or you would have noticed. But I can still feel it. I don't want to feel it anymore. Ron wants the rest of the money. He says, he's my husband and it's his right. What about my bloody right? I was never going to spend it all on books. I've always been careful with money. I could make it last for years. But I'll tell you this much. One way or another, he'll make sure he gets his hands on it. I'll get started now, Derek.
Are you sure? It's still early. Your shift's not due to start for a few minutes yet.
I don't mind.
Are you all right? You look tired.
I'm fine.
Good, because if you're starting early, there's a little job I need you to do in the computer section.
Right.
Mr. Brownlow's had a fright. He's got his dongle stuck in the hard drive.
Right. I'll fetch the disinfectant.
Good idea. What's that torn paper in your hand? Has someone been damaging the books?
No, it's just a bit of rubbish, that's all.
Fine. I'll be in the office if you need me. All right, Mary?
Derek, it's not Mary. It's not important. They say you don't miss what you've never had. I don't think that's true. I've missed so much. I don't want to feel it anymore. Poor Derek. He took it worse than I expected when I said I was leaving today. He said that he thought he knew me. But he doesn't know me any more than Ron does. But Ron was right about one thing. You can't live your life through books. It's not real, no matter how much you want it to be. There is no Mr. Darcy, no Heathcliff, no Romeo. We make them up because we haven't got them. But you do miss what you never had, believe you me. Those books caught fire because they're made of paper. All of them. They're just bits of paper. Look at it.
Shh.
Sorry. Poor Derek. Poor Ron. By the time he gets home from work, I'll be gone. I wonder how long it'll take him to notice. I've left his dinner in the oven. I made him a shepherd's pie because that's his favourite, and there's 2 bottles of beer in the fridge. I'll tell you when he'll notice I've gone. When he picks up the remote and finds there's no batteries in there. Well, I couldn't leave him a goodbye note, could I? He'll stop grieving for me once he gets some more batteries. He's got his freedom now. Good luck, mate. It's such a wonderful thought to have a room of one's own, just like Virginia Woolf said. I would have looked after her. I didn't want much. I wanted an easy life and a push-up bra. But I did want a life. I know these books, but I don't know anything else. I only know Paris because of Charles Dickens and Victor Hugo and the Hunchback of Bloody Notre Dame. I want Marie's Paris. So that's where I'm going first. Ron didn't find the money, you see. It's driving him mad because he thinks I've spent it all. I haven't even started, mate. And it doesn't matter that I can't read English in France. I can't read bloody French neither. Derek said he wanted to meet me over there because he's got some holiday time due. He said he could show me a cafe where Jean-Paul Sartre used to sit with Simone de Beauvoir. I was polite, but I said no. That's why I took it so bad. Men have this terrible desire to be in charge. It's like if they don't show you, then you'll never find it for yourself. But I don't want Eric's Paris. I want Marie's Paris, and Venice, and Rome, and Timbuktu bloody too, if I feel like it. Did you know that you can make 17,000 different words using only 3 letters of the alphabet? I heard that on a quiz show. 17,000 out of 3. And I've got 4. M-A-R-I. I've had them all the bloody time. I just never knew how to use them. I-A-M. I am. M-A-M-A. Mama. M-A-R-I. Mari. That's just the beginning. If only she could have taken the stones out of her pockets. I'm off now, Derek. Au revoir.
What? Oh, wait a minute before you go, Mary.
It's not Mary. It's... Never mind. Yes, Derek.
I just wanted to say bon voyage. That's all.
Thank you.
And I wanted you to know that I will miss you, my dear. I'm truly sorry you're leaving. We never really had a chance to talk to each other, did we?
Can't go talking in the library now, can we?
Didn't say silence up there for nothing, did it?
You never did find that sign, did you?
No, I didn't. Can't think what happened to it. It was probably those young louts trying to make a point.
We can't silence the young, can we? Why would we want to?
Yes, well, I can get another one from the council, I expect. If the cuts will allow.
I'm sure you can sort it out. You always know what to do.
Somebody has to. Good luck over there. And I meant what I said. I've still got 2 weeks' holiday due, and it would be my pleasure to...
Thank you, Derek. But I think I have to do this on my own.
I understand, Mary. And if you ever need a reference or anything like that...
Goodbye, Derek. Oh, and by the way...
Goodbye, Mari. Oh, hello, Mrs. Copperthwaite. And how are we today? Oh, dear. Never mind. I'll fetch the disinfectant.
You have been listening to Mari, written by Jackie Carreira, directed by Zoe Cunningham and Emmeline Braefield, with Geraldine Brennan as Mari, Anthony Young as Derek, and Mollie Wilkes and Toby Wilkes as the youths. Produced by Cat on a Piano Productions. For a full list of the music in this production, please see the show notes. The Theatrephonic theme tune was composed by Jackson Pentland, performed by Jackson Pentland, Mollie Fyfe-Taylor, and Emmeline Braefield. For more information about the Theatrephonic podcast, go to catonapiano.uk/Theatrephonic, tweet or Instagram us at Theatrephonic, or visit our Facebook page. If you enjoy Theatrephonic and would like to get more content, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Theatrephonic. Please don't forget to rate and review. Thank you for listening.